Mark chapter 2. Jesus heals a paralytic. Beginning from verse 1. A few days passed, and Jesus proceeded again into Capernaum, and tidings circulated that he was back in the residence. At once a multitude assembled, and now there was no room anywhere for them to stay, not even outside the door. And Jesus addressed the people, giving them the divine message. Now 4 men brought a paralytic and approached Jesus. But a huge mass of people thronged around Jesus, making it impossible to approach him. So they went to the roof and located the area where Jesus was. And making an opening right there, they carefully lowered the paralytic bedridden right before Jesus. Jesus observed their faith, and he told the paralytic, "My son, be courageous. Your wrongs are pardoned." And now some authorities of the law seated nearby reflected within themselves, "Why does he speak like this? This is surely blasphemy. Who can pardon sins other than God himself?" But Jesus, aware of everything they were thinking, asked them, "Why do you reason such evils in your minds? Which is easier to say to the sick man, 'Your wrongs are pardoned,' or 'Arise, take your pallet and walk'? But to prove to you that the Son of Man has authority on earth to pardon every wrong." Then Jesus told the man embattled with paralysis, "I tell you now, arise, take your pallet and go home." At once the paralytic arose, took the pallet, and left the place, as all the people watched in amazement. Everyone marveled and gave glory and praise to God, saying, "We have never witnessed anything like this anywhere." Next, Jesus proceeded once more by the sea shore of Galilee. And throngs of people approached him, and he lectured them. As he was walking, he saw Levi, offspring of Alphaeus, busy in the office. He was a tax collector. And Jesus told him, "Follow me." So he got up without delay and followed Jesus. As events happened, Jesus was seated at the table in Levi's residence, and a good number of tax collectors and wrongdoers came and settled with him and his followers. There were many of them, and they clustered around Jesus. Some authorities of the law and Pharisees observed Jesus dining with the tax collectors and wrongdoers, and so they asked his followers, "Why does your teacher dine and wine with tax collectors and wrongdoers?" Jesus heard them and replied them, "Strong men who are healthy do not need a doctor. Only those who are infirm. I have not come to invite perfect men, but wrongdoers to penitence." The followers of John the Baptist and the Pharisees were fasting at a point, and so the people came and asked Jesus, "Why do the followers of John the Baptist and the followers of the Pharisees fast, but your followers do not fast?" And Jesus replied them, "Can the bridegroom's friends grieve and fast while the bridegroom is in their midst? Obviously not. But the days will appear when the bridegroom will be removed from their midst, and at that time they will fast. No one patches an old robe with a piece of new cloth, for the new patch only pulls away from the robe, leaving a worse tear. Nor do they pour fresh wine into used wineskins, for the wineskins only burst. The wine pours out, and the wineskins are destroyed. But they empty fresh wine into fresh wineskins, and both are well kept." As events happened, Jesus walked on the grain fields on the Sabbath, and his followers, being hungry, harvested some heads of grain and ate them all. And some authorities among the Pharisees asked Jesus, "Why are your disciples breaking the law of the Sabbath?" But Jesus replied them, "Have you never studied this, even this? What David did when famished and without food, David and his companions. How he entered the house of the Lord God in the era of Abiathar, the supreme priest, took the showbread and consumed it, and likewise handed some of the showbread to his companions. And it is unlawful for anyone to consume this food except the priests. And Jesus told them, the Sabbath day was made for humankind, and not humankind for the Sabbath day. And so, the Son of Man is master even of the Sabbath.